Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have our first official reaction to an NBA mock draft. I know we had Kevin O'Connor's draft board or prospect rankings. I'm not going to count that as a real mock draft just because I think it was more of a prospect analysis slash rankings. But now we have a mock draft. Bleacher Report's latest 2-round mock draft. We'll go more in depth with the first round, second round, most likely not. Probably just scroll through real quick, see some of the names we recognize. And yeah, Donovan Clingan of UConn on the cover, the #1 overall pick. And looks like he has him as a projected lottery pick. Like the NFL mock drafts, we'll give them grades. And yeah, I'm excited to do our first official NBA mock draft reaction. With the first overall pick, he has the Pistons taking Alexander Sarr out of from the Perth Wildcats and out of France. I'm giving this an A. I mean, I think it's the right pick. I don't know if it's the overwhelming first overall pick because we've seen Zachary Reese-Sachet, we've seen Cody Williams, we've seen Nikola Topic, we've seen all those guys at times. In my opinion, Sarr is the best player in this class, but just because there's probably some other players where it could be left up to discussion. That's why I'm not giving it an A+. I think the Jaren Jackson Jr. comparison is a fair one, though. So A for Alexander Sarr to the Pistons, I think it's the right pick. Second overall pick, he has Zachary Reese-Sachet to the Wizards. Yeah, for the Wizards here, I think Reese-Sachet, Cody Williams, Topic, all three of those guys make sense for them, especially just because they traded, I believe they did just trade Tyus Jones, right? Tyus Jones, or they were thinking about trading Tyus Jones. I don't know. A point guard just got traded. Oh yeah, it was Monte Morris who just got traded. Could trade Tyus Jones, who knows? But right now, I think their #1 need is definitely the wing position, and it's basically between Zachary Reese-Sachet and Cody Williams. Who do you like better? In my opinion, it's Cody Williams, but they have Zachary Reese-Sachet. I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna give it a B+. Again, it's not a bad pick. I think he's 2 for 2 so far on these picks. With the third overall pick, he has Nikola Topic to the Spurs. Just want to make sure we're good. Okay. To the Spurs at 3. I'm going to give this an A+. I think it's probably the most perfect pick that can be made in this mock or in this draft. The Spurs' #1 need is definitely point guard. I'd say their second need is also wing. But Topic is the best point guard. 6'6", 198. His fantasy ball has him a little bit lighter, but great size for a point guard as well. And the future pick and roll between him and Victor Wembanyama, yeah, it's just being insane to dream of. And if he is able to go to the Spurs at 3, it's a perfect pick in my opinion. I'm giving it an A+, honestly. It's probably my most perfect fit in this draft. At 4, he has the Hornets taking Ron Holland. Okay, so he's probably going to have Cody Williams drops to 5 or 6. I don't mind Ron Holland being at 4. I think I have him a little lower in my mock draft. I think I had him around 7 to 10. Only reason is because he's not having a great season for the G League Ignite, but he was the best high school player last year. He was the #1 overall guy in the ESPN 100. He has a lot of potential, so that's also a reason why the Hornets would pick him. And maybe they think the playing style / position of Cody Williams and Brandon Miller is too similar, so they want to get a different type of guy like Ron Holland. I guess that's some type of reasoning, but overall, I probably would go Cody Williams here, so I'm going to give it a B. But if they want to bank on Ron Holland's potential, it's a good pick. So it's a B for the Hornets. I forgot. I probably should look at these player comparisons. Topic for Shea. Okay, that's interesting. Zachary Reese-Sachet, Michael Porter Jr. I think we saw that with Kevin O'Connor's as well. So overall, the craziest one is definitely Shea. Holland to Cam Whitmore. Yes, an athletic wing. I think it's a perfect comparison. At 5, he has the Blazers taking Cody Williams. Yeah, I'm going to give this an A+. I think this is probably the most perfect, this or Nikola Topic, but having, in my opinion, the #2 overall guy in this draft class fall to 5, that's an A+ pick for me. Blazers also need wing position right now, obviously, with Anthony Simons, Malcolm Brogdon, Scoot Henderson, and Shaedon Sharpe all demanding those guard minutes. If we can get a lanky 6'8" wing in there like Cody Williams, who can get to the basket basically like no one else in this draft class, can create a jump shot somewhat, and is extremely efficient, it's a great fit. I think the Blazers, if they're able to snag him at 5, it's an A+ pick for me. His comparison is Jaden McDaniels. I think that's probably a good one as well. Defensively, I think Cody Williams is a bit underrated, actually. And I think once we get deeper into the college season, I know we only have like 10 games left, but once we see him for the rest of the season, also going into the Pac-12 tournament, we could probably see Cody Williams jump up to second or even first overall pick, because I think if he carries on his play, he'll be able to do that. With the 6th overall pick, we have the Raptors taking Rob Dillingham. Yeah, I was thinking about doing this in my mock draft. I had Isaiah Collier go ahead of Rob Dillingham. I don't know if I'm going to have that in my next mock draft because how good Rob Dillingham has played over the last couple of games. Only reason I didn't mock Rob Dillingham to the Raptors is because I think him and Emmanuel Quickley's playstyle are a little too similar. Not saying they do the exact same thing, but they really both need the ball in their hands to be an effective basketball player. With Isaiah Collier, it's a little different. I think his playmaking, defensively also, I think he could probably do a little bit more on the court than Rob Dillingham in terms of on both sides of the ball, also passing / facilitating and creating his teammates for creating open shots for his teammates. But at this point, I think it'd kind of be terrible for me to put Isaiah Collier over Rob Dillingham. So next time, Rob Dillingham, I promise, will be my second point guard off the board. I guess even if it's to the Raptors, even though Quickley and Dillingham, that duo just feels like it wouldn't work out so good. Comparison is Kemba Walker. Sure, I've seen Lou Williams. Who else have I seen? Jamal Crawford to an extent. Kemba Walker, I guess, yeah, Kemba Walker and Lou Williams are probably the best fits in terms of play style for Rob Dillingham. An absolute bucket. 6'3", 176. Probably not be able to play anything except point guard, but in his last game he had 9 assists. So I'm going to grade this one an A-. I do think Rob Dillingham can easily go top 10, and I think 6 is probably around where he should get drafted. But the fit with Emmanuel Quickley is just throwing me off a little bit, so I'm going to give this one an A-. At 7, actually, I'll give this one a B+. At 7, he has the Grizzlies taking Matas Buzelis. Assuming he doesn't have trades in this mock draft, I think if the Grizzlies were at 7, they'd either take a more proven wing like a Kevin McCullough or a Dalton Connect. But I guess if they want to take Buzelis, sure. If it's not McCullough or Connect, which I think at 7 might be a little too high for both of them, they probably end up trading out of that pick. I mean, unless someone like Cody Williams or one of these top, except I don't even know if they take Ron Holland if he's available. Either Cody Williams, Reece Shea, or Alexander Sarr are available. They probably trade out of that pick, in my opinion. So, Buzelis, another high potential guy. I'm going to give it a B, though. It's just, I don't think that's what the Grizzlies need right now. Especially after trading Xavier Tillman, we could also see them look for a big man. So, I'll give it a B. I like Matas Buzelis, but I just don't really love the fit to the Grizzlies at 7. Comparison is Franz Wagner. It's fair. I mean, 2 European white basketball players, I guess. I know Franz Wagner's from Germany, and he's from Lithuania, so it's different. But I think the comparison's fine. So I don't really know why I'm hating. At 8, he has the Rockets taking Jacoby Walter. I don't mind this pick at all. I also realized he had the last spot for where they were mocked. He has Buzelis dropping 2, Dillingham jumping 1, Cody Williams dropping 1. Holland jumping 2, Topic jumping 1, Reece Shea jumping 1, and I'm going to guess, Sarr staying the same. I mean, the pick was Jacoby Walter. Sure, I mean, and if you plan for him to be your future 6-man, then I think this is a great pick. At the moment, I mean, I guess at this point, there aren't too many other players you probably want to take that's lower off the board. Because in my first mock draft on Fanspo, I did give them, I think it was Nikola Topic. I can't really 100% remember. But if we're planning for Jacoby Walter to be our future 6-man, I think this is a fine pick. Just him and Jalen Green on the court together. Not so sure how that works. Similar to, or I guess they have not somewhat similar play styles, but they both need the ball in their hands. So I'll give the pick a B. Comparison is Moses Moody. Sure, I mean, probably would go somewhere different with that one, but yeah, I don't really like the Moses Moody comparison. I'll give it a B though. Just it's similar to the Rob Dillingham to the Raptors thing. I think the fit is not amazing, but overall Jacoby Walter's a great player, so it kind of balances it out. And in the NBA, it's basically gotten to you pick the best player available. It's not always with fit. At 9, he has the Hawks taking Kyle Filipowski. Yeah, I also think this is a great pick. I don't know if they're going to end up trading DeJounte Murray at the deadline, or DeAndre Hunter, or Clint Capella. They probably wait till the offseason to move on from most of those guys. So getting someone like Kyle Filipowski, when right now, who is their current power forward that has been rocking with them? Just have to search up the Hawks depth chart real quick. At this current moment, their starting power forward is Jalen Johnson. So I guess you can get someone that's different play style, but I guess also plays the power forward position. I mean, even Kyle Filipowski could possibly play the center for them. I mean, he's 7 feet tall. I like the pick. I just personally would like to see Kyle Filipowski go to a different team. Like, I would not mind him. Going to the. I know the Pistons obviously have the first overall pick, but let's say the Pistons drop to 5. I think some might see it as a little bit of a reach, but I'd like his fit next to Duren better than I do with his fit with Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, Capella, and all the guys they have over there. Personally, not my favorite fit, but it's a good value pick. I'll give it a B+. His comparison is he doesn't have a comparison to just stop doing those, or he just skipped him apparently, because the next one, Yves Missi out of Baylor, does have a comparison to Jalen Duren. Yeah, Missi is a lob threat. He's an athletic big, 7'2", 235, has good size. He's an athletic big. He can block shots. I'm not gonna say unlike anyone in the nation, because they're definitely better shot blockers in college right now. But he's a great shot blocker. He brings intensity on both sides of the ball. But when it comes to offense, he's definitely just a lob threat. He doesn't really have too much moves going on in the paint. So, is it a great fit for the Blazers? Probably would be a better fit for the Hawks in my opinion because of Trae Young. But we don't know whether or not they're moving on for Capella, so you can't really say that one. I guess they do need big depth. You're probably not going to keep both Robert Williams and DeAndre Hunter going into next season. So I think getting a younger guy like Missi, who I think has good potential in the league, and like I said in basically all my mock draft videos, there's always going to be a spot in the league for someone who's able to catch lobs. So Missi to the Blazers, I'll give it a B. In my opinion, there's probably at least 2 better centers than him in this class, Clingan and Kel'el Ware. If you want to say Edie, sure, but personally, I have Clingan over Missi, and I'd probably even have Kel'el Ware over Clingan at this point. I really like Kel'el Ware at Indiana. It's been one of my favorite players to watch this season. I'm going to be interested to see where he goes in this mock draft. But, yeah, maybe even Big Z out of Kentucky. Who knows? But not my favorite center to go this high, but I don't hate it, so I'll give it a B. I think him, Clingan, and Ware all have the same sort of draft trajectory where they can end up going in the draft. At 11, he has the Thunder taking Clingan. Yep, it's the perfect change of pace guy next to Chet Holmgren. Clingan, shot blocker. Holmgren is too, but Holmgren can really stretch the floor on the offensive side of the ball, shooting threes. I think Clingan has more of a defensive interior presence than Holmgren does. Like, you're going to have opposing guards scared to drive to the rim because Donovan Clingan's going to be sitting right there. With Chet, I think it's a little bit different, except Chet Holmgren has been a great shot blocker this season. So how much am I going to say about that? Not much. But Clingan does have to improve the offensive side of the ball. His foot speed is a little bit slow. He did hit a 3 this season, so maybe he can improve on that when he goes to the league. But right now, it's not a terrible pick. He just has a lot to improve on. I think if everything goes right, he can be a great NBA player. To start his career, he'll definitely be a backup. I don't know if it's going to be with the Hawks, with the Thunder, with the Pelicans. There are a lot of teams that need backup centers right now. But, or I guess not really the Hawks, but it's really the Thunder and the Pelicans. Pelicans' backup center right now is Larry Nance and Cody Zeller, so that would be an interesting fit. But I don't mind this to the Thunder. I'll give it a B+. I think in my last mock draft, I had him as my second center off the board. Only reason I'm not saying first is because obviously we have this guy named Alexander Sarr. He's listed as power forward here, but also probably could end up being a center. I don't really know what positions these guys play anymore. I'm just going to say that Sarr's a power forward and Clingan was my first center off the board. Makes it easier for me. So I'll give it a B+. I like the pick to the Thunder. I think it's a good one. Sort of like Kel'el Ware a little bit more, just to be honest. At 12, Reed Sheppard to the Bulls. I think in terms of finding a start to their rebuild, yeah, like I was saying, I think if the Bulls want to officially start their rebuild, they should probably go somewhere else with this pick. I'd lean with more of a scoring type of player instead of more of a role player like Reed Shepard. I guess if they're willing to continue their rebuild with Kobe White, Reed Shepard would be a good fit at the 2 next to him. But I kind of would like a more scoring type of player. Did I give them Jacoby Walter in my mock draft? I mean, looking a little bit farther down, I guess there's not too many guys that I'd want to give them with who has high potential and is a good scorer. But I guess best player available, definitely, in Reed Shepard. It's the right pick. You know what? I'll give it an A. You know, I'll just give it a straight A. I feel like if one of these guys, I guess Walter, Buzuelos, even Ron Hollins, maybe even Rob Dillingham, were to fall to whoever the Bulls pick, it'd be perfect for them because they'd get their franchise guard, whether that's at the 1 or the 2. Also, I think the Bulls probably end up with a higher pick just because Zach LaVine's probably going to be done for the season. So they probably end up with a top 10 pick. But Reed Shepard, it's an A pick, best player available, and it's a good fit next to Kobe White. At 13, we have the Pelicans taking Dalton Connect. Isaiah Collier is still available. I think I probably would rather go him. Also would probably rather go Kel'el Ware. Maybe even Zach Edey. Probably not Zach Edey. But definitely Kel'el Ware. Definitely Isaiah Collier. I think they need backup guard, future starting point guard. McCollum's probably going to be done in the next... How old is CJ McCollum right now? 33? CJ McCollum is 32 years old. So we could probably expect some sort of decline from him in the next 2 years. So I think we need to look at a new point guard for them. Stephon Castle possibly. Like I said before, Isaiah Collier. And then, talking about earlier, their backup center is pretty weak. You have Larry Nance, who in my opinion is more of a power forward. Then you have Cody Zeller, who honestly should not have a job in the NBA right now. But Connect's not a terrible pick just because, you know, like the Thunder, the Pelicans are a team who's going to look to start winning more. And Connect, senior, has potential to be player of the year. Won't get it because Zach Edey is the best college basketball player. But if he didn't exist, Connect would have a shot. So I don't mind this. I'll give it a B just because would rather take Kel'el Ware and would rather take Isaiah Collier. At 14, the last pick in the lottery, he has the Thunder taking Tejan Salon. Now, I kind of forgot who the Thunder picked with their first overall, or their first guy. It was Donovan Clingan. So I'm not mad with Tejan Salon. I think Clingan's going to be someone who can help them right away at the backup center, or maybe even third string center position if we're going to prioritize Jalen Williams. That's Jalen with an I-N at the end, Jaylin, so not the wing out of Santa Clara. So if we are going to go a guy who can contribute right away in Donovan Clingan, I guess it's okay to go with more of a project guy with your second pick into Tejan Salon. Salon has a lot of potential. I've seen him go as high as 6. I put him at 6. I also see him go as low as somewhere in the 20s. So he has a large draft projection. But if the Thunder are willing to take a shot on a high potential guy, Shalon is not a bad pick. I had them go Maxis Buzuelos, so probably someone who has more potential. But I don't mind the pick to Tejan Salon. I'll give it a B+. Yeah, I guess they're just doing comparisons for some players, not others. I don't see any for Tejan Salon. I see Connect with Max Strus, okay, shooter. Reed Shepard with Dante DiVincenzo. Okay, I guess that actually does make sense. High percentage guy. At 15, we have the Heat taking Isaiah Collier. Yeah, I like this pick as well. This mock draft was made after the Terry Rozier trade, so we're accounting that their starting point guard right now is Terry Rozier. I saw Tyreek Evans and immediately inputted his name into Rozier's name. But Collier, I don't mind the fit to the Heat just because I still think they need a point guard who's able to distribute the ball. Lowry was able to do it for them a little bit. Before that, it was Goran Dragic who helped them a lot, got them to the finals. Then before that, they had LeBron and Wade, so, you didn't really need a point guard to distribute the ball to them. But I think right now the Heat do need a playmaker, and Isaiah Collier can bring that. The fit is okay. The player comparison and Tyreek Evans, so-so. Collier's been injured at times this season, so maybe his draft's position here at 15 could end up going up if he starts playing a lot better. But it's not a bad pick to the Heat. Comparison, Tyreek Evans, okay. I mean, sure, young Tyreek Evans was a point guard, so I guess there's that. Isaiah Collier, 15 to the Heat. I'll give it a B+. 16, we have the Magic taking Ulrich Komchi out of Cameroon. I've heard about this guy a little bit. Last mock draft, he had him at 14, so 2 straight mock drafts with him in the first round. This is the first mock draft I've seen him in the first round. Out of NBA Academy Africa, I've seen some highlights. I think really for Ulrich Komchi, obviously I don't know how well I'm pronouncing his name. To know about him, I thought he was definitely going to be a 2025 pick, but if he's going straight from NBA Academy Africa into the NBA, the translation of his game / how well he'll play there then coming here probably won't be great. Expect him to be a G League guy probably right away for the Magic. But just looking at his little scout right here for Komchi, or Chomchi, however we pronounce his name, Komche. 6'11" big, 7'4" wingspan, flashes of shooting, ball handling, passing, create some tempting pathways and visions to upside. Sounds like an okay guy to draft. Magic probably would go Kevin McCullough here. Just for that, I'll give it a B. 17, the Knicks do take Kevin McCullough. One thing I've noticed is that Stephon Castle hasn't went yet. I think if Castle is available at 17th to the Knicks, they might want to pull the trigger on that one. But McCullough is a great player out of Kentucky. Another senior, just like Connect, who's playing amazing this season, who's definitely going to be a first-round pick when it's all said and done. Really has nothing left to prove in his college career except to be efficient. Because he did get did he get a championship? I don't think he got a championship. I think he was with Texas Tech at that time. He transferred in last year. Actually, did he get a championship? I guess we're just going to look at this real quick. Because obviously, if I can find his reference page, I don't know if he was on that team with... Okay, so he did not get a championship because that 2021-22 season was the year that they won the championship, with Ochai Agbaji and Christian Brown. He was on Texas Tech still. So this is 5th year in college, and I guess he doesn't have a championship yet. So I can't really say that he has nothing left to prove because he still does, and Kansas does have a shot at the championship this year. But I feel like as a draft prospect, he's extremely safe. To the Knicks at 17, I think we can look at center here. Kel'el Ware available, one of my probably a top 14 prospects for me. Like I said before, Stephon Castle, a versatile player who can play somewhere between the 1 and the 3. For that reason, I'll give it a B, even though McCullough is a safe pick forever. So if you take him at 12, I'll say it's a safe pick. If you take him at 20, it's a great pick. 18, he has the Pelicans again taking Tyler Smith. Kel'el Ware and Stephon Castle are still on the board again with their 18th pick, just like I said they were with the 13th pick. So just for that, I'm probably going to bump it down to a B-, just because I feel like they really need backup center with Kel'el Ware, another lob threat. Lob threats find their way in the NBA, like I said before. Tyler Smith, I view a little bit more as a power forward than a center. He is 6'11", 224, so maybe he'll be able to translate into a center when he comes to the league. But Kel'el Ware, even if you want to call Tyler Smith a center, I just think Ware is much better than Tyler Smith. And they need a future point guard, so that could be Stephon Castle. So just for that, B- for Tyler Smith. He's a good player. I see him early 20s probably, but there's just better players available for the Pelicans here at 18. 19, he has the Suns taking Tristan Da Silva out of Colorado. He's another older college basketball player who's having a great collegiate season. I would not call him as safe of a pick as I did with McCullough and Connect, But overall, De Silva is not a bad player. Just don't know how much he'll be able to do in the league. 6'9", 220. I just don't really see him getting the baskets he's able to get against NBA defenders. That's just in my opinion. His comparisons, Kyle Kuzma. Okay, I don't mind that. Tyler Smith was Bobby Portis, and McCullough was Bruce Brown. It's not too bad. So yeah, I'll give the Suns pick a B. I guess B minus. I have not had De Silva yet in my first round. I could find a way to get him in there. But, I mean, he's definitely first-round talent. He could end up being a first-round guy. I just haven't really found the way to get him there yet. But I'll give it a B minus just because I don't know how well his game particularly is going to translate into the NBA. At 20, he has the Raptors taking Devin Carter. So at the first pick, he had the Raptors taking Rob Dillingham, and now he has the Raptors taking Devin Carter. If you didn't know, they're both point guards. His comparison is Jose Alvarado. Okay, so I'm getting a weird feeling that this guy just likes comparing these college basketball players to NBA lookalikes. Because if you want to see what Devin Carter looks like real quick, probably would find a better one with his hair pulled back, be more accurate. But he doesn't look too far off from Jose Alvarado. So, I'm surprised there's not a picture with him in braids or his hair pulled back. Doesn't matter. So, that's interesting. I guess he just likes making those type of comparisons. But with the Raptors already taking Rob Dillingham, I don't really understand this pick at all. I'm going to give it a C just because it doesn't make too much sense for me. And right now, Devin Carter is not a first-round prospect for me. I'll be a little bit more nice. I'll give it a no. I'm going to stay at a C. It just doesn't make too much sense for me. Chloe is still on the board. I know I've been saying that a lot, but right now the Raptors' backup center is who? Chris Boucher? I'm genuinely curious who the Raptors' backup center is at this current moment. I know the starters obviously Jakob Poeltl. Backup is Thad Young, Jonte Porter, and Chris Boucher. I might genuinely take Kel'el Ware over all three of those guys as a player right now in college. I'm just saying. Maybe not Chris Boucher, but even then, Chris Boucher is more of a power forward in my opinion. So I'll give it a C. I think Kel'el Ware would be a perfect pick to the Raptors here at 20. At 21, he has the Hawks taking Ryan Dunn. If he's your future shooting guard next to Trae Young, great. He's a lockdown defender. Basically, that's the only thing he does. I see him as a first-round prospect just based off his defense. If he's able to get a three-point shot, then he's a potential top 10 prospect. But doesn't have it yet. Extremely impressive. He's just able to play defense and he's automatically a first-round prospect. I mean, just imagine what he's going to do if he gets a jump shot. To the Hawks, though, I think it's a fine pick. I'll give it a B+. I think it's an okay pick. Herb Jones, a little lazy, just because some people might think Herb Jones only can play defense as well, even though Herb Jones has shot pretty well from the corner 3 this season. But Ryan Dunn does a little bit more. He's a great athlete, driving to the hole, can draw fouls, but shooting the 3 is not his thing. At 22, he has KJ Simpson to the Cavs. So that's 3 Colorado basketball players in the first round. That is not something I expected to say. But the Cavaliers do need backup point guard. I guess if they're not looking for a guy like Stephon Castle, it could make sense to draft someone like KJ Simpson. I think just at this moment, I'm going to pull up Fanspo's mock draft simulator right now just to look at some of the point guards this guy is missing out on so I don't forget anybody off the top of my head. But if I can just get this up, or I guess it's already up there for my last one. Kylan Boswell, I'd probably take over KJ Simpson, in my opinion at least. Proctor, maybe. Probably see him more as a second-round guy. Castle, I'd definitely take over KJ Simpson. And then over here, these guys are all already taken. But, yep, I'm taking Castle. I'm taking Kylan Boswell, possibly Tyrese Proctor, all over KJ Simpson. He's not a bad player, though. So I can't give it somewhere in the C's. I'll give it a B minus. Better point guards available. I think the Cavs should probably target a point guard or a stretch 4, someone like that. So I'm not terribly mad at this pick. Just think there's better players. So I'll give it a B minus. 23, Bobby Klintman to the Knicks. Yeah, sure. Their first overall guy their first draft pick was a safe guy, McCullough. let's go take a good prospect in Bobby Klintman, who has an insane amount of potential. Yeah, when you have a 6 foot, I guess it doesn't show his height here, but he's 6'11", 7 foot. He's a bit skinny, but he just has an NBA type game in my opinion when it comes down to it. He's shown more comfortability at the 3-point line than he did at Wake Forest, so that's definitely something we could look at. Maybe push him up the draft boards a little bit. His comparison is DeAndre Hunter. I think Clinton's defense probably not at DeAndre Hunter level yet, but definitely has the potential, especially at 6'11". Just want to look at his wingspan real quick. Wingspan is at over 7 feet. This says he's at 6'9". I'm like 99% sure he's not at 6'9". Pretty sure he's 6'11". But over 7 foot wingspan, has high defensive potential. Probably would look to get someone a little bit bigger or who plays the power forward more than the wing when I'm looking at a player comparison. So probably someone not like DeAndre Hunter. But Clinton's a very good prospect. I think it's a good pick for the Knicks, especially after picking a safe guy, McCullough. I'll give this pick a B+ for Bobby Klintman. At 24, AJ Mitchell to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, he actually goes to a smaller school in Santa Barbara, and he shot up the draft boards a really good amount. He's the type of player who can really create his own shot. As you can see, pro comparison being Jalen Brunson. And when your comparison is Jalen Brunson, you're 6'5", that is high potential. I really want to get AJ Mitchell in my next mock draft. I think around this range is perfect at 24, 24 through 30, probably late first round. But to the 76ers is also good. So just for that, by the way, I see Kel'el Ware dropping to 25. That's going to get an A+, by the way. Just for that, AJ Mitchell, probably gave this pick a A-. I really like the player, like I said before. And the 76ers do need backup point guard. I think it's a great pick. A-, AJ Mitchell to the 76ers. Kel'el Ware, it's getting an A+. He's a top 14 prospect for sure for me. I mean, I guess I just clicked off of my mock draft. But I'll tell you every single player in this draft that I take over Kel'el Ware at this moment. At this current moment. You know, because there's also going to be guys that are probably around his level that I have to think more about. But I'm taking everyone here, 1 through, I just clicked into someone, making this hard for me. I'll take everyone here, 1 through 6. I'm putting Isaiah Collier beneath him. I'm putting Klingon beneath him. So right now he's at what? 1 through 6. Dillingham would be 7. He would be 8. I'd put Shepard ahead of him a little bit, so he'd be 9. I'd put Walter ahead of him a little bit. He'd be 10. Buzuelas, maybe. Maybe. So I kind of have him as my 11th overall prospect. Everyone ahead of him I would take ahead of Kel'el Ware, except Donovan Klingon, Isaiah Collier. So if that doesn't say a lot, I really don't know what is or what does. So as you can see, obviously I have high love for Kel'el Ware. So seeing him at 25 is a steal for me. I'll give it an A+. Chimezie Metu is an insane comparison as well. I don't know. Johnny Furphy to the Thunder. Okay. They want to get another Australian wing. Saw what happened last time. Hopefully he doesn't have the same preference in his preferences. I don't even know how to explain that one. But I don't see Johnny Furphy as a first-round prospect yet. He really blew up after the one game against Houston where he did play amazing. And I think he had 19 points, was extremely efficient. But the next game against Kansas State, if I want to pull it up real quick, I guess I could probably just pull up the stats. Kansas versus Kansas State. I guess Kansas did lose, so we're looking at his stats for, I guess this is football. We're looking for basketball. We're looking at his stats in a win versus stats in a loss. But he had 19 points against the Houston Cougars. And in this game, he had 4 points. So I'm not confident to say he's a first-round pick yet. I'll give it a C+, just because there is potential there. But I need to see a lot more out of Johnny Furphy. One game cannot tell me that he's a first-round prospect. At 27, Stephon Castle to the Timberwolves. They just traded for Monte Morris. This was made before the Monte Morris trade. And even then, he could be your future point guard very, very easily. I'm giving this one an A+. Castle for me, probably another top 14 prospect in this class. I'm probably gonna put him below Collier, so he'd be at 12. Below Klingon as well, he'd be at 13. Probably below Buzuelos, but after that, I'd probably have him over McCullough, have him over Ryan Dunn, I'd say, have him over Connect, and have him slightly over to Jean Salon. So I have him as my 14th prospect. So seeing him drop to 27 is also pretty crazy for me. I'll give it an A+. Great potential to be the Timberwolves' future starting point guard, future franchise point guard even. Anthony Black comparison, not so fair in my opinion. I think he's like a very underdeveloped Jalen Williams, the one on the Thunder, the wing, not the center, obviously. I think he's like an underdeveloped Jalen Williams. If that jump shot does come in, I think Jalen Williams would be a better comparison, but basically Jalen Williams without a jump shot right now. That would be my comparison. At 28, Dylan Jones to the Raptors. Don't know much about Dylan Jones right now. His player comparison is David Roddy, so I'm going to guess he's an aggressive type of player. 6'6" ball handler who creates for himself, passes, hits tough mid-range shots, leads games in rebounding, and has been capable of averaging a 3-point make per game in consecutive years. Sounds like he's another safe player, 22-year-old senior going to the Raptors. The Raptors have taken a lot of interesting players so far in this mock draft. I'm just going to point that out. I'll give this one a B, probably just a solid B, just because I don't know too much about the prospect, but I could learn more. Jalen Tyson to the Bucks at 29. Probably for the Bucks, I'd want to go stretch 4, like someone like Jalen Tyson is. He's also a great defender, I'd like to say, or a backup guard. And backup guards available right now: Kylan Boswell, Bronny James. I guess if you want LeBron, you get Bronny. But Kylan Boswell, Bronny James, Tyrese Proctor, Jared McCain, even though he's more of a shooter. So I don't mind the Jalen Tyson pick just because they do need the 3/4 position. They kind of have a hole there, so I'll give this one a B+. Jared McCain to the Celtics at 30. Sure, I mean, they need depth, really. That's their number one need, in my opinion, for the Celtics. Their biggest need is depth. They don't have great depth. I'm saying depth a lot, but I'm trying to make it clear that their second unit is not great. It's really just, with everyone healthy, it's really just Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, O'Shea Brissett. That does not sound great, in my opinion. So there's the first round. Skim through the second round real quick. We have Oseo Iguodaro, Tyrese Proctor dropping to 32. Okay. Big Z, glad to see him in this mock draft. Larson out of Arizona. Okay. Cannon Carlisle, point guard out of Stanford. Adem Bona, big man. DJ Wagner, 37. Melvin Ajinça, Adama Ball. Don't know too much about him. PJ Hall, I think I had him go to the Bucks in my mock draft. Hunter Salas, Zach Edey dropping to 42. So either you're a Zach Edey lover, and you see him as a top 20 pick, or you're a Zach Edey hater and you see him as a second round pick, because you either see him as an NBA prospect or not. 7'4", 300 pounds, can't shoot the ball. It's really give or take at that point. Poplar, Ethan Omanza in the second round at 44. That's a little late for me. Judah Mintz, sure. Alex Caravan at 46. Okay. I think late first round, early second round is probably his best range. Justin Edwards, I don't even know if he's going to declare this season. Coleman Hawkins, Aaron Bradshaw, Mentas Rubstavicius. Don't know too much about him. Trey Alexander out of Creighton. Baylor Sharman, also out of Creighton. Deron Holmes, I think he could be a lot higher than 53. Definitely low for me. Trevon Brazil. Antonio Reeves out of Kentucky. There's your senior. Baba Miller, Tyler Kolek out of Marquette. Harrison Ingram, and I guess the last 2 picks are forfeited. Don't know who did that. Stop tampering in the NBA. You want to keep your draft picks. So thanks for watching me react to this mock draft. I expect to make my next NBA mock draft in the next week, or the week after that. I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely do want to get a new one out, just because I think I dropped Rob Dillingham a little bit in my last one. But thanks for watching this video, and see you next time. Peace.